Hey everyone. Before we get started in the course, one of the first key foundational concepts you need to understand is what is business analysis and how does a business analyst produce business analysis? What are those steps and what do they do? Also, understanding why a business analyst role exists today. Why in the world do companies have business analysts as part of their organization? And what value does it provide? What return does it provide for them? So that's what we'll cover in this lecture, just give you some high-level details as well as try to break it down a little bit to make sure that you understand the concepts. So the first question is, what is business analysis? Business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an organizational context by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. And that's according to the International Institute for Business Analysis in their business analyst body of knowledge. A lot of jargon, IIBA, the BABAC. But moving back to the definition, this definition is, in my mind, very confusing for somebody that's not already familiar with business analysis. There's a lot of big words. It sounds great. It sounds very much like a textbook definition, right? What I want to do is break this down a little bit and give it to you in a little bit smaller pieces so you can really understand what business analysis is. So business analysis is the practice of enabling change. So that is the key role of a business analyst. They're helping organizations to enable them to make changes. And these changes could be to realize benefits of new technology or new systems, adjust processes so they're more efficient, eliminate or reduce waste, meaning different systems that are utilized that could be streamlined and made more efficient, and that list goes on. So they're there to help that business enable change and change whatever they deem is necessary to make them more profitable or efficient or have higher customer service or whatever that would be. The second piece of it is by defining needs. So a lot of what you've heard about business analysts most likely is that they elicit requirements and they document requirements. But overall, those requirements are written because there's a business need. They're defining what that need is and putting words to that need. That need is to have higher customer service, to retain more customers, to do things more efficiently, to generate additional revenue. Whatever that is, they're defining that business need as part of that project. And then they're also recommending solutions. So they're going in, they're defining that need, and now they're offering up solutions based on their expertise. And that's why business analysts have a very wide range and a very wide background of where they came from, because their life experiences and their business experiences play a big part in making them successful business analysts. And the last thing is they deliver value. So they're there to make sure that as this project moves forward, that it delivers value to the business realizes the value of what they were trying to get done. So that's the definition broke down and kind of the key components being dissected and pulled out. So what is a business analyst? Quite frankly, a business analyst is somebody that practices business analysis. That kind of goes without saying, but a business analyst is looking to enable change, defining needs, recommending solutions, and delivering value to the business. That's really what a business analyst does. One of the key things is the title of business analyst isn't always present. You could have an owner of a company. You could have a project manager. You could have a subject matter expert. You could have an administrator. You could have a sales manager playing a business analyst role. As long as they are the ones that are driving that project forward and really helping to enable that change and defining the needs, making sure that solution is available and delivering the value, they're playing a business analyst role. Some organizations don't have a business analyst title as part of their organization. Most have been adopting that over the years as the roles kind of evolved and come out and matured a lot. But that's something that the title's not always present. So you could be right now playing a business analyst role without the title. So a business analyst, we kind of talked about, they practice business analysis, but in short, a business analyst is a high-level problem solver. They're somebody that's taking a challenge or an opportunity or a problem, and they're understanding fully what that problem is, understanding all the components and requirements of what that solution needs to look like, and solving that problem. And that is one of the key skills of a business analyst, is being able to understand something that may be impossible, right? Taking this big problem and breaking it down into components that then can be solved for. So that's kind of the key piece of being a business analyst. And the only constant in business is change. That's the main reason why business analysts are around today, is business analysts are there to help enable change, and the only constant in business is change. So the work will never end. There's always more processes to make more efficient. There's always additional technologies and benefits that can be realized through technologies, through new processes, and through new software. So that's the key concepts of what a business analyst is and what business analysis is. So what kind of value do they provide for a company? The key thing is they are going to understand those needed capabilities. They've got the skills necessary to communicate with stakeholders and understand really what does that business want? What does that business need? And how can they solve for it? They're also going to find new opportunities. So some levels of business analysts, called strategic business analysts, are more on the business side, and they're looking to understand where there are opportunities in the business and where those changes that can be enabled or affected that will produce the most positive impact for the business. So they're finding those opportunities and pushing a project forward to solve for those opportunities. They're also avoiding costs. So business analysts can make processes more efficient, and they can work through different things that will help reduce the costs of the business, whether that's a cost of losing customers, whether that's an actual monetary cost, whether that's a time-saving cost that generates additional efficiencies and value to the business. But they really help to avoid the costs. And they also help business to realize benefits. So they're pushing forward new softwares, technologies, efficiencies. They're reworking things to help that business realize those benefits, and they're generating their own value by putting it in. A business analyst is really a cost mechanism for a business. They're paying a business analyst to go in and essentially save more money than what they're paying them. So that business analyst is helping to realize benefits, which helps grow the revenue stream of the business, or that business analyst is helping reduce or eliminate or avoid costly projects or other things to help increase the value. In addition, companies will have projects regardless if there's a business analyst, right? Companies have done projects and have worked through and done change and needs analysis well before there was ever the title of business analyst. So how did they do it then? Well, that's what happened, was they would do it on their own. They wouldn't have somebody of an expertise of a business analyst, and so the requirements would maybe not be solving for the initial problem. The business needs wouldn't be realized at the end of the project. The project would go way over schedule or budget or both. The scope of the project would change and fluctuate because they didn't have somebody in there to control that. And that's the role the business analyst plays. That's the reason a business analyst was spun up. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that gives you a little bit more detail about what business analysis is, what the business analyst does, and the value that they provide to businesses. I'll see you in the next lecture.